Yeah, I think it's going to open things up for the passing game, for the run game. Jackson Arnold's just going to feel more comfortable, and I think that makes a big difference. What's also going to help Jackson Arnold feel more comfortable, a little bit healthier offensive line. Are they going to be ready for Tennessee? We'll discuss coming up next.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So the offensive line is getting healthier. Troy Everett should be available for this week. Branson Hickman, we've heard that there's a good chance that he could play. What does that do for Oklahoma's offensive line this week against Tennessee?
Bringing those experienced snaps changes a lot, right? Like, we all know that Troy Everett was working closely with Jackson Arnold as his main center in the spring. Then when Troy hurt his knee, we went out and got Branson Hickman to come in. And then basically, Jackson Arnold was working with Hickman. And so in these games, right, in the 4 starts that he has of his career, he's had 4 different centers. I mean, he had 4 different centers in his first 3 games. So that's a lot to have for a young quarterback to try to readjust himself multiple times. I know that in camp, he was working with Josh Isosa, the freshman, right? Because he was needing some sort of a center there that was healthy, that could get the ball to him. And so having Hickman and Troy Everett back is going to be huge. I know Troy Everett's put on a lot of weight. I think the last thing I saw weight-wise, he was sitting at the 315, 320 range, which is massive in comparison to the 290 that he was last season when he had first got to Oklahoma. He's put on the weight. You can tell that he's been working out. He's been getting himself stronger. And now, honestly, you can slide him over at guard, right? That gives Heath Ozada somebody to work with. And it makes it to where you can bring Heath in and you can have somebody to rotate around. That way you've got as much experience as you possibly can on that line, because Tennessee's defensive front is really good. And having experience is going to help a lot.
Yeah, if you can get both Branson Hickman back to play center, Troy Everett can slide over to play guard. Now you feel a whole lot better about that offensive line, because you have Michael Tarkin at right tackle, tons of experience. Febechi Wiwu at right guard, a lot of experience. And then with Hickman and Everett, a lot of experience. And Jacob Sexton is your uber talented potential top 50 draft pick because he's so good at playing offensive line. And you've got him in a better position than playing guard. He's a much better tackle than he is a guard. I think he's more suited for that. Can he play guard? Absolutely. Is he a tackle? Definitely.
He looks like a tackle playing guard. So it makes it so bad. Yeah.
Right. Unlike a Caden Green, who wants to play tackle, but probably is better suited to play guard. It's the other way around for Jacob Sexton. So I think this gets everybody in better positions, and those communication issues that were issues the first 3 weeks of the season, well, with Branson Hickman and Troy Everett in the middle with Febechi Wiwu, 3 veterans right there in the middle, you're unlikely to have as many communication breakdowns. I think it's going to be incredibly important to have these guys back, and it's going to provide a big boost for the offense. How much of a boost? We'll see. I'm not expecting Oklahoma to go out all of a sudden and rush for 300 yards, but I could see them definitely averaging 4.5 yards a carry because you get that experience back. I can see this opening up the passing game a little bit more because you get more experience, you get more confidence in those guys up front to be able to hold up protection for those deep patterns. So I think it's absolutely huge. It allows Jackson Arnold probably to feel a little bit more comfortable in the pocket with what he's got up front, as opposed to when you're on your 4th option at center and you're on a guy that had never played a down of college football yet, and you're relying on those guys on your left side. You're going to have a whole lot more comfortability with what you're rolling out there at offensive line this week. But are they going to be ready for Tennessee? That's going to be the biggest question, because Tennessee is a really good offense or defensive line, and James Pierce is one of the best players in the 2025 draft eligible class.
Yeah, they're at D tackle and at edge. They've got some players that have been showing out this year. They got some talent that's been putting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks and making it tough. And as you mentioned, I think the one thing for JA is in this one is for Jackson Arnold, his main thing is going to have to be being comfortable staying in the pocket long enough for the plays to develop and the plays to open up. And yeah, having Troy Everett to the left, Branson Hickman right there in the middle, I sense a lot more comfortability should show up. The best thing is one of those two can play center, right? You can go between the two, no problem. This will give Joshua Bates an opportunity to get more healthy, and he'll be able to get more reps later. But between those two, you'll have some guys that have experience that can even interchange as needed. So if you need to bring Hickman out, you can move Troy over there to center, and you can slide Hito Zeta in there at left guard. And you still got some comfort on that left side because, Heath wasn't perfect, but Heath did really good at left guard, in his start there against Tulane. And Sexton is so much better at tackle. Now, your right side is pretty solid. Weiwu, he's getting his feet going. He's getting better. And Tarkin is honestly your top rated offensive lineman right now, right? Everybody questioned if USC had broke him, and because he wasn't very good there, ended up getting benched, but he was solid at Florida, and he's come here, and it looks like he's about as solid as he was back in his Florida days. That's a huge development for Oklahoma, and I think that's going to be what's going to really change things for us going forward.
Yeah, because I remember the conversation back in the spring when Tarkin arrived, and people were speculating, hey, is he going to play guard? Because you got Jake Taylor, Jacob Sexton, where's he going to fit? Well, and he was saying, hey, I'm here to play tackle. I'm not playing guard. And sure enough, he became the starting left tackle, bumped over to right tackle, and his stability has been so important for this offensive line. His ability to play both sides of the offensive line has been so important. Now, he's got to clean up some of the stance issues, line of scrimmage, lining up issues from bumping from the left to the right, where he had the two, basic illegal formation penalties against Tulane, but I'm sure he'll clean those up for this week and he'll feel more comfortable. It's hard to go from, hey, I've been playing left tackle all fall to, okay, now I got to bump over to the right side. It changes things a little bit. So I don't feel uncomfortable with Tarkin over at right tackle. I don't feel uncomfortable really with the offensive line. I thought it had progressively played better and better each week. Were there snaps where they got beat? Yep, there were. But I thought they were playing better as a whole. And that's really all you can ask for, right? Is just improvement. Do we want them to be a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line? 100%. Is it going to be a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line? No, it's not. So just get better. Just get better week to week. And getting healthier this week is going to help them be better than they were last week.
Exactly. Now you need the reps. You need those reps. These guys need those reps together just so we can get some long-term continuity. Because it's literally been a just in turning over with linemen over and over with people being healthy and playing. Heck, Jake Taylor's hurt now, right?
Yep.
We're seeing that he's on the injured list of not being able to probably play. And so for us, the hope is that we can get healthier, right? On the offensive line, get a little bit more depth, and the young guys can play. I know that we're seeing some of the young guys actually get out there and get some reps. So, it's good to get a little bit of early reps, especially in games that, we should easily win. Now we're going up against the true competition, the ones that ain't no gap there, right? You need to go up there and you need to be playing your best. And the good thing is that we've got, 3 offensive linemen potentially coming back. I mean, Jake is still listed as questionable. Same thing with Hickman. And so Jake probably can play, but they're most likely going to leave him out, let Tarkin just run things on the right, which he's done very well. There's no reason to force Jake Taylor out there. Get him healthy. That way you have another backup just in case. But it's good to see that we're starting to get, the attrition is kicking our butt. And hopefully the bug just bit us in the beginning of the season and it doesn't touch us in the end of the season.
That's right. Now's the time of the year when you want to be your healthiest. Now, they still got some guys they got to get back, but with the offensive line kind of coming together, getting some healing happening, good vibes. I was talking to a D2 college coach on Wednesday when I was at my daughter's cross country meet, and he spoke on it. He said, not having your guys available to practice with or play with, the guys you expect to start, it changes everything for the offense. So now getting these guys back, can it change everything for the offense for the good? Cannot wait to find out when Oklahoma plays Tennessee on Saturday night. Not a lot of people are high on the Sooners or giving them much of a chance. We'll discuss who's sleeping on them coming up next.